Shana Tova! Wishing you a happy, healthy, and sweet New Year.
With love from the Singer family.
Hi everyone. We wish our family, friends, and clergy a very happy and healthy and peaceful 5781. L'Shana Tova.
Hi, from Honey and Marty Cohen. We're wishing everyone a happy and a very healthy New Year. L'Shana Tova.
Hi, Harvey and Laurie here, wishing our Beth Am family a happy and healthy New Year. May you all stay well and be safe, and may we all be together soon. Shana Tova.
Wishing all of our family and Beth Am family and friends a happy, healthy New Year. Shana Tova, health and happiness, and may we all have refuah shlema through this pandemic and tikkun olam so that we may all be together again.
Wishing you and all of your loved ones a sweet new year filled with the blessings of good health, happiness, and peace. L'Shana Tova. From Rini,
Frank, Stephen,
Beth and Jay, and Jake too. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, L'Shana Tova, to our dear Beth Am family, from the Bloom family and Partieli family here in America and in Israel. I am wishing all of us a very happy and healthy New Year, filled with lots of love and affection in our hearts.
Happy New Year, L'Shana Tova, and I hope that you all have a new year that is as sweet and as healthy as these apples and honey. I am hoping that this year will be better in every aspect, that next year will be better in every aspect than this past year, and I'm hoping that by Rosh Hashanah next year, we will all be able to celebrate this wonderful holiday together.
L'Shana Tova U'Betuka to our entire Beth Am congregation. While I'm deeply saddened that this year we're not going to be able to celebrate Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur together in our beautiful sanctuary, I know that our Zoom services are going to be just as wonderful and beautiful, and I'm so excited that I still get to celebrate Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur with you all. Wishing everyone a sweet, happy, and healthy New Year. L'Shana Tova.
Hopefully we'll be able to be together real soon so we can greet each other in person. Looking forward to it.
Can't wait. Hope the pandemic is over in a blink of our eyes.
Love you guys.
Me too.
Bye.
Bye.
L'Shana Tova, everyone. From Lorna Tabby. It's been a hard year, but we're going to make it. And next year in Beth Am.
L'Shana Tova from the Cohen
and Wolf
families.
Ethan couldn't be with us tonight, but we wanted to make sure that he's included in his own special way.
And Jared. And we all wish you health, happiness, and peace. And our love and thanks especially to Rabbi Lieb and his family, Cantor Zark and her family, and Rabbi Tornberg
and her family.
For their relentless passion that has inspired us this year to read Torah, to learn, to grow, and to bake.
Hallowed.
Wishing you a sweet and happy, healthy New Year. We love you all.
See you on Zoom.
Happy holidays from our family to yours. Stay healthy, safe, well, and
be positive.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Our fellow Bethomnics and our many visitors who are with us this morning, we bid each and every one of you, both near and far, Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova. We welcome all of you to our virtual Rosh Hashanah morning service. If you are fortunate enough to have a hard copy of our Rosh Hashanah Machzor, without further ado, we invite you to turn to page 111. Our reading is as follows, and you're more than welcome to join with me. We read responsively. Ma tovu, how good they are, these tents of Jacob. How beautiful the homes where Israel dwells. and blessed are all who have a home when so many yearn for shelter and for care. And blessed are we who share this house, which shelters us where we belong. This house of Torah, this house of love, of sacred assembly and communal strength. In small and humble rooms, in splendid sanctuaries, today our people greet the turning of the year. We stand with all of them this morning, grateful we're alive to meet this day, first dawning of the year. For all of us, no matter where we've traveled, come back to celebrate the season of return. Give praise to this morning, give thanks for our gathering, give ear to the ancient call that brings us home. Our hearts rise up in hope, our spirits reach for new beginnings, our voices too lift up a melody that celebrates today. How good they are, these tents of Jacob, how beautiful the homes where Israel dwells. Matovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkanotecha Yisrael.
continue with Baruch Hu on top of page 142. Please rise.
Please join with me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol, or olam be'otzar chayim, orot me'ofel amar, vayihi. In love you bring light to the earth and its creatures. Your goodness renews the creation each day. Infinite, varied, and rich are your works, divine artist. All of them wrought with wisdom. The whole earth is teeming with life. Awestruck by the universe, work of your hands, let all life bless you, praise you, and celebrate the beauty of your lights. Or chadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'nizkechu lanu mehera la'oro. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer HaMe'orot. We continue on the bottom of page 147. All life springs from a single fountainhead. Listen, Israel. Know the oneness at the heart of multiplicity. With love and reverence, bear witness to Mekor HaChayim. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael, bi'ahava. We continue on page 150 with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך וכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לראות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, ואתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם בארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We continue on page 163. Where does Israel get the courage, the chutzpah, to go on believing in redemption in a world that knows mass hunger, political exile and war? How can Jews testify to hope and human value when they have been continuously persecuted, hated, expelled, destroyed, out of the memories of the Exodus?
שבחו גאולים לשמך על שפת הים יחד כולם חודו וכמליכו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד צור ישראל צור ישראל קומו בעזרת ישראל ופתחנו בך ויהודה וישראל גאלנו גאלנו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה. האל הגדול, הגיבור והדורון, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניכם, למען שמו בכבוד. זוכרנו לחיים, ולחפץ בחיים, וחוט וידעו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אמן. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחייך כל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד חטל, מחלקל חיים בחסד, ימים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גיבורות, ומדון מלוך, מלך ממית ומחיי, ומצמיח ישר. מי כמוך אל רחמים, זכיר יצוריו לחיים ברחמים. ונאמנת לחיות הכול, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכול.
Please be seated. We continue on page 174 with Unitane Tokev.
Unitane Tokev Kadoshat Hayom Ki honor Vayom Uvotin Asei Malchotecha Vekon Mechesed Kisecha Vateshef Aluf Bemet.
Let us proclaim the power of this day, a day whose holiness awakens deepest awe and inspires highest praise for your dominion. For your throne is a throne of love. Your reign is a reign of truth. We're going to continue on page 178, and please join with me in Rosh Hashanah.
Rosh Hashanah יקטיימון, וביום צום כיפור יחטיימון. בראש השנה יקטיימון, וביום צום כיפור יחטיימון. כמה יעברון, וכמה יבריון, מי יחיה מי וקצו ומי לא וקצו. בראש השנה יקטיימון, וביום צום כיפור יחטיימון. בראש השנה יקטיימון, וביום צום כיפור יחטיימון. מי ומים ומי ואש, מי וחרב ומי וחיה, מי ורב ומי וצמא, מי ורש ומי וגגפה. בראש השנה יקטיימון, וביום צום כיפור יחטיימון. בראש השנה יקטיימון, וביום צום כיפור יחטיימון. mi vachaniko, mi vaskelo, mi yanuch, mi yanuch, mi yoshkito, mi yaton brev, mi shalev, mi teyasen. Barosh Hashanah yikateimun, V'yom tzom kippur yachateimun. Barosh Hashanah yikateimun, V'yom tzom kippur yachateimun. Mi ani u'mi yashir, mi shpal u'mi Barosh Hashanah yikateimun, V'yom tzom kippur yachateimun. Barosh Hashanah yikateimun, V'yom tzom kippur yachateimun. Uteshuvah, utefillah,
Place Yourself, and Unatana Tokef by Trisha Arlen. Place yourself in front of the fear. You will be judged. You will die. Place yourself in the center of the universe. You earned that spot simply by existing. Place yourself under obligation to God, however you understand or don't understand God. Place yourself on the path of holiness and joy and truth. Bless and be blessed by Hamakom, the place where we find ourselves. Remember what you did wrong. Remember what you did right. Remember those who came before you. Remember that you are responsible for those who come after you. Remember your history. Remember Torah. Bless and be blessed by Shaddai, remembering us. Declare yourself, because the truly evil are already condemned. The truly good are already blessed. And then there's the rest of us. It is said that on Rosh Hashanah, God decides your fate, life or death. And the 10 days until Yom Kippur are your opportunity to change God's mind. So don't blow it. This is a powerful day, a fantastic opportunity. Declare yourself for holiness and joy and its truth. Bless and be blessed by Shekhinah, listening. Now we declare, and as a congregation we proclaim, let the holiness rise up. On Rosh Hashanah it is written, on Yom Kippur it is sealed. And let us declare together, we understand nothing. All that is physical ends. We die, but not today, except sometimes today. We fret about the past and worry about the future and forget to live with where we are now. And then we die. We understand nothing. But teshuvah, tefillah, and tzedakah restore to us our place. Teshuvah, when we return to our true selves. Tefillah, when we stop time in holy conversation. Tzedakah, when we transcend self. And that's when God decrees. Bless and be blessed by Ruach HaOlam, breathing mindfulness. The day is holy. Listen to the shofar as it announces, awesome and sacred is this sweet day. The world is filled with the divine. We are surrounded. Hear us, know us, love us, enjoy us, remember us, rouse us, forgive us, inspire us. Bless and be blessed by Elohim, the Creator, the created, the creating. We place ourselves in front of the fear on the path of holiness and joy and truth. Amen.
Dear friends, the entire shofar service, as you well know, is divided into 3 parts, each focusing on one aspect of our experience of God: Malchiot, kingship; Zichronot, remembrance; and Shofrot, revelation. A powerful and dramatic moment comes at the beginning of the Malchiot section in traditional shuls, namely the full prostration during the so-called Great Aleinu. Now, we all know that the Aleinu is the essential closing prayer of every Jewish worship experience. Fairly early in the prayer we sing, V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim. We bow low and we prostrate ourselves in thanks. Most of the year, when we chant those words, we bend our knees and we dip our heads, a symbolic bowing. But today, on Rosh Hashanah, the custom is to really go low. We actually prostrate ourselves, knees first, then hands, and then forehead. God's Malchiot, God's sovereignty, makes itself felt through our minds, our hearts, and our bodies. The so-called Great Aleinu on page 202 reminds us that one of the purposes of prayer is to move through the world of action, emotion, and thought, and into the world of eminence. The physical experience of prostration during the Great Aleinu is the ultimate expression of humility, to consciously move out of the limited physical sense of self and into connection with the greatest and highest power of all. Please rise if you're able to. The ark remains closed as Cantor now leads us in the Great Aleinu, page 202. Betham, we now continue with the first in our 3-part glorious shofar symphony, our words for to introduce Malchuyot, the first of our three parts of the shofar service, can be found at the bottom of page 205. Blessed are hearts that respond to the majestic music of the shofar. Blessed is the gift of life, the power of renewal that brings us to this day.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lishmoa kol shofar. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
תקיע שפרים תרועה תקיע תקיע שפרים תקיע תקיע תרועה תקיע
נצור לשוני מרע ושפתי מדבר מרבה ולמקל אליי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע ושפתי מדבר מרבה ולמקל אליי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע ושפתי מדבר מרמה ולמקל אליי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי
Please join with me in Avinu Malkeinu on page 223, and please rise. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha, Avinu Malkeinu, Chamal aleinu, V'al aleinu, V'tapeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Kol dever, V'cherev rav, me'aleinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Kol echol tzar, u'mastin, be'aleinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, kotbenu besefer chayim tovim, Avinu Malkeinu, chodesh aleinu, chodesh aleinu, Shana tova, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chodesh aleinu, Shana tova, Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu v'aneinu, Ke'ein banu ma'asim, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, v'chashi'enu, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed,
Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova, Betham. Have you ever thought about this bittersweet paradox? That while we might think of Rosh Hashanah as the quintessentially Jewish celebration marking the beginning of the Jewish New Year, and we wouldn't be wrong in assuming that, the fact of the matter is that this day ultimately belongs to the whole world. Hayom Harat Olam. Today is the day that the world is reborn. We Jews proclaim with pride and with humility during the three-part shofar service. Betham, I have never been so acutely aware of the truly universal nature of this high holy day than this year. Never before could I have begun to try and understand the truly cosmic significance of Rosh Hashanah than this year. The magnificent design of the cosmos and the fundamental imperative of tikkun, of worldwide repair, this new year, have made a greater impression upon me than ever before. And so I commit myself this sacred day to a far more global understanding of what God requires of each and every one of us. Self-creation and tikkun atzmi, self-improvement. This day, I feel duty-bound to consciously disengage myself from the otherwise sentimental parochialism of the Jewish world. This day, I must try to extricate myself from the otherwise exaggerated tribalism that all too often eats away at the very heart of Jewish life. This day, I acknowledge like never before the stark, sobering realization that we human beings, all of us, whether we like it or not, whether we accept it or not, are interconnected and interdependent, strung together under a precious, though precarious celestial canopy that transcends time and space. I'm reminded of what the American astronaut Russell Schweickart shared of his experience orbiting the Earth over 51 years ago. He saw the Earth, and I quote, not as something big, but now as a small thing out there, so small and so fragile, and such a perilous little spot in the universe that you can block it out with your thumb. And you realize that on that small spot, that little blue and white thing is everything that means anything to you. All love, tears, joy, games, all of it on that little spot out there that you can cover with your thumb. And you realize from that perspective that you changed, that there's something new there, that the relationship is no longer what it was. Russell Schweickart had become the sensing element of all of humanity. And that, come to think of it, is our clarion call this Rosh Hashanah day. You and I must become the sensing element of all of humanity. Never before in our lifetime have we encountered with such little warning a microscopic contagion that has stubbornly defied all geographic and human boundaries. A hitherto unknown, uncontrollable virus, invisible to the human eye, that has brought humanity as we know it to its very knees. Never before in our lifetime has the entire human race been as preoccupied with one single, common, overwhelming existential threat as it has with COVID-19. Our world these past many months has convulsed in ways that none of us could have ever predicted. All too many Americans have already paid an incalculable price because of misguided thinking, errors in judgment, and irrational, illogical, obstinate failure to heed sound medical advice and scientifically based warnings. But above all else, the inexcusable and the unconscionable refusal on the part of all too many fellow Americans to protect both themselves and those around them. Please think about that terrible, awful, calamitous lapse in moral judgment, social empathy, and communal concern, if you would, for just a moment. Why? Because nothing could be more antithetical to Judaism and what we believe as Jews. How can we not be concerned about the seismic consequences of this modern-day plague today? This day that's ultimately devoted to spiritual introspection, basic human decency, and the common good. Betham, if there's anything that this unprecedented pandemic has taught me, it's this. We're all inevitably bound together by a shared common fate. Our destiny, hitched to the heavens, is inescapably hammered on the anvil of family love, communal selflessness, civic engagement, and national pride. Yes, COVID-19 has brought out the worst in us, but make no mistake about it, it's also brought out the very best in us. The astonishing strength, the courage, the bravery, and the resilience of first responders, medical personnel, nurses and nursing home staff, and other essential workers. And if you happen to be one of them, know this: you are a hero in every sense of the word. Parents who have had to work from home while simultaneously supervising their child or their children's education. Titans of the manufacturing world repurposing their equipment to make desperately needed ventilators. The Army Corps of Engineers who built makeshift hospitals literally overnight. Food Bank distributing more care packages than ever before. Food service agencies making sure that school kids still received breakfast and lunch every day, even though they weren't at school. And yes, in addition, those who marched peacefully and non-violently on the streets this past summer for basic human rights, dignity, and for racial equality deserve credit for their forbearance. Police officers, surely the overwhelming number of them decent, honorable, and worthy of the badge that they were, deserve credit for their restraint. We should all be impressed with and proud of the extraordinary positivity, ingenuity, and creativity that has enveloped our own small Jewish world these past many months. Untold numbers of Jewish religious, educational, cultural, and charitable organizations have taken to digital platforms in ways that none of us could have foreseen. Yes, there's no denying that so many of us are by now thoroughly and totally ausgezumt. Thanks to Barry Tinkelman, by the way, for coining that term. But thank God we have this technology to keep us connected in ways that previous generations could only have imagined. And by the way, if we're feeling any kind of self-pity for the 6 months that we've had to shelter in place, with sufficient food, protection, hygiene, communication, and entertainment at our fingertips, not to mention the ability to go outdoors, we've only to think by way of example of Anne Frank and her family, who were forced into hiding for no less than 761 days. That's 25 months in their 450 square foot secret annex. Today, as we stand at the gateway to a new year, let us resolve once and for all that we will do everything in our power to help heal this torn, fractured, crippled, broken world. Our isolation from one another has forced us to reckon with one incontrovertible truth. More than ever, we need the love and the support and the compassion, the patience and the understanding of others. Our interconnectedness remains our greatest strength. We all want to be loved and valued and respected. So let's look behind the masks, literally and figuratively, and try to see ourselves in the face of the other. Surely that's what this Rosh Hashanah day demands of us, to reach out beyond our small, narrow, insular, parochial habitation and embrace our shared common humanity. Yes, I'm well aware of the fact that there are some reckless, lawless factions out there who might well be undeserving of our time and our empathy. And yet this Rosh Hashanah day reminds us that despite the temptations of rebelliousness and the sin of indifference, there is still a crying need, an aching spasm to affirm our most basic theological tenet, that we are all fashioned, B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of a creator God. And that's one of the reasons why our clergy decided this Rosh Hashanah, Davka, to look at Genesis chapter 1, the miraculous creation of the world, and not, as we customarily do, Genesis chapter 22, the inexplicable binding of Isaac as our abbreviated Torah portion for this first day of 5,781. So that we might know, you and I, that we're all in this together. So that we might pause and acknowledge that this world, with all its sham and drudgery, with all its chaos and confusion, is one that nevertheless pulsates with irrepressible energy, beauty, and vitality. It is, after all, the one and only home that we have, and it's one that we need to protect and defend like never before. A world crying out for salvation from the toxic grave of human greed, overconsumption, and reckless endangerment. We know that from the far outer reaches of space, there are no ideological frames and there are no political boundaries, but only, to quote the American poet and playwright Archibald MacLeish, earth as it truly is, bright and blue and beautiful, in that eternal silence where it floats, and men and women as riders on the earth together, on that bright loveliness in the eternal cold, brothers and sisters who know now that they are truly brothers and sisters. My fellow Bethomnics, what if the universe is trying desperately to get us to slow down, to stop producing, so that both we and the earth might breathe a little easier, to take a step back and realize just how profoundly we impact one another? A virus, as we know all too well, can wipe out untold numbers, but the earth will still be here. We are clearly capable of spreading a deadly disease, but we can also spread love, kindness, and generosity. Yes, this universe, rightly made, is always speaking to us, if only we are willing to listen. Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova.
We continue with our Torah service at the top of page 227. Please rise and join in Ein Kamocha.
Ein Kamocha v'Elohim Adonai v'ein k'ma'asecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai melech, Adonai melech, le'olam va'ed. Adonai uz le'amo yitein, Adonai yavarech et amo v'shalom. Avcharachamim hitiv v'rtzonecha et Zion tivanech amot Yerushalayim kivecha levad patachnu melech el ram v'nisa Adon olamim.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Apayim v'Rav Chesed v'Emet, Notzer Chesed la'alafim, Noseh Avon v'Fesha, v'Chata'a v'Nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, God, compassionate, gracious, endlessly patient, loving and true, showing mercy to the 1000th generation, forgiving evil, defiance, and wrongdoing, granting pardon.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum ve'Chanun, Erechapayim v'Ravachesed ve'emet, Notzorech chesed la'olachim, Noaseh avon v'chesha, v'chada v'nokeh. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh v'Norosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai Iti, Onaram Bemo Shema Yochdav, Lacha Adonai Chagadol, V'chadavura v'chatiferet, v'chanetzach lecho, Ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz, Ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz, Lacha Adonai hamamlacha, v'chabit na'aseh l'chol l'rosh.
Betham, as I mentioned previously in my more formal remarks, our brief and alternative Torah reading for this first day of Rosh Hashanah is Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 13 inclusive, namely the first 3 days of creation. The verses can be found at the very back of your machzor on page 330. This morning it is our very great pleasure to call upon 3 treasured Bethamniks who are our Torah readers, Sandy Cohen and Barry Stein and Bridget Dorfman. Before calling upon Sandy to step forward, we invite all of you to join with me in the first blessing in the bracha. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach, Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed, Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Tamod l'kriyat haTorah, Bat Sheva bat David v'Shena Malka l'kriyat haTorah.
Amen. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim v'et haaretz, v'haaretz hayta tohu vavohu, v'choshek al pnei tehom, v'ruach Elohim mirachefet al pnei hamayim. Vayomer Elohim yehi or, vayehi or. Vayar Elohim et haor ki tov, vayavdel Elohim bein haor uvein hachoshek. Vaikra Elohim laor yom velachoshek kara laila, vayihi erev vayihi voker yom echad.
Yamod Baruch ben Gershon v'yeta l'kriyat haTorah sheni.
Vayomer Elohim yehi rakia betoch hamayim, vihi mavdil ben mayim lemayim, ויעש אלוהים את הרקיע ויבדל בין המים אשר מתחת לרקיע ובין המים אשר מעל לרקיע, ויהי כן. ויקרא אלוהים לרקיע שמים, ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום שני.
תעמוד לקריאת התורה בלה בת אברהם ולאה שלישית.
ויאמר אלוהים יקבעו המים מתחת השמיים אל מקום אחד, ותראה היבשה, ויהי כן. ויקרא אלוהים ליבשה ארץ, ולמקווה המים קרא ימים, וירא אלוהים כי טוב. ויאמר אלוהים תדשה הארץ דשא, עשב מזריע זרע, עץ פרי עושה פרי למינו, אשר זרעו על הארץ, ויהי כן. ותוצא הארץ דשא, עשב מזריע זרע למיניהו, ועץ עושה פרי אשר זרעו למיניהו, וירא אלוהים כי טוב. ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום שלישי.
Please join with me in the bracha and the blessing after the reading of the Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה.
Page 267. God of remembrance, remember the covenant of our ancestors, we reaffirm it today. Remember we are a people of noble ideals. Help us to attain them. Remember all your people, all the nations on the road to peace. Bless their efforts. Remember with mercy the binding of Isaac, the sorrow of Sarah, Abraham's words, "Here I am." Baruch atah Adonai, Zocher Habrit.
We invite you to rise for Zichronot, the top of page 268. Tekiah, Shvarim Truah, Tekiah, Tekiah, Shvarim, Tekiah, Tekiah, Truah, Tekiah,
Prayer for our congregation. Eternal Presence, who blessed our mothers and fathers, bless this holy congregation, a house of study and righteous deeds. Together we give thanks for our leaders, those who learn, teach, and uphold the Torah, inspiring others to learn, teach, and uphold the Torah. Those who do the sacred work of building our community, may their service bring them joy, fulfillment, and purpose, and may they go from strength to strength. For our members, diverse in age, interest, and background, Jews by birth, Jews by choice, and those of other faiths who join with us, all who offer their time and talent, their love and commitment. For all who come here on this holy day of Rosh Hashanah to share the search for the meaning and renewal, your presence is a blessing, your friendship a gift. May the spirit of peace, dignity, and respect live within these walls, inspiring us to care for one another with compassion. And may we be a source of goodness, light, and healing for the world. May the one who blessed the generations before us bless us as we stand together this day, one congregation, joined with all Jewish communities of the world through our prayers on this festival of the New Year. Let us renew ourselves for the year ahead. Let us honor the precious legacy that is ours.
Please rise and join with me on page 277 at Chaim He.
It's Chaim Achi, Lamachasikim Ba, Vatom Achecha, Me'oshar, Darachecha, Darcheinum, V'chol Netivatecha, Shalom, Hashiverenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh yameinu Chadesh yameinu
Betham, we now continue with the third and last part of our shofar service, Shofrot. We invite you please to rise. If you're able to, we're at the top of page 284. We invite you to join with us in the bracha, Baruch Atah Adonai, Shomea Kol Truat Tamo Yisrael Barachamim. Blessed are you in our lives, Adonai. You hear with love the shofar, true voice of your people Israel. Tekiah. Shvarim Truah. Tekiah. Tekiah. Shvarim. Tekiah. Tekiah. Truah. Tekiah Gedolah.
לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא עשנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו ככם, וגור עלינו ככל כמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שכונות השמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת זו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אף זולתו, כה כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום וחשיבותו אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוקים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד ונאמר וחי אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד,
Page 291. Our thoughts turn to those loved ones whom death has taken from us in recent days, and those who died at the season in years past. Our hearts open as well to the wider circles of loss in our community and wherever grief touches the human family. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be a blessing in this new year and always. If you're able to, I invite you now to rise for the Kaddish, page 292. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah, Amen. Bioma divrach yirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agalau fisman kariv v'yimru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mavorach li'olam ulalmei ulamaya. Yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpo'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha brichu. Leila u'leila min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Da'amiran ba'olma v'yimru, Amen. Yehei shlam Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, Amen. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, all Israel, and all who dwell on earth, and let us say, Amen. And may the source of peace bestow peace on all who mourn, and may we be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved. And together, let us all say, Amen.
We conclude our service with singing of Hayom Tamtzeinu, page 294.
Hayom tenmecheinu mitzedkecha. Amen. 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 Hayom tamseinu amen. Amen. Hayom tamseinu amen.